Hey guys, welcome to the Mega Hash channel. This is my rig. I don't think I've ever shown it to anybody. There is another video about it, but today we're going to be replacing the breakout board that we have here that's powering the GPUs, and we're going to replace this ATX power supply that's powering my BioStar TB250 BTC. That's not the Pro. I actually burnt, if you can see that, I burnt that PCIe Express 3 slot because I put the USB PCIe extender thing backwards. That really sucked. So instead of having 6 video card support, I only have 5, which is fine because I can only currently afford 5 video cards. I also have the M2 hard drive and the some RAM that just came with it, the 39 whatever CPU. We're just mining here, so I'm going to replace this ATX with the ZX parallel miner breakout board. Comes with the 24 pin and I think 18 of these 6 pin, and then some supports for fans, which I don't have any fans. And then you can connect a bunch of them through these pins right here. These what are floppy pins, or floppy drive power pins. Okay, so we're gonna replace that and see if it changes the wall. Right now I'm at 754, so we'll see if the actual server PSU 1 can handle powering all of this, and if it's gonna lower the power consumption of the whole rig. So I'll be right back with that video, or I'll be right back with that section. So the first thing we're gonna do is power off our rig. So we're gonna send it a turn off power, and it seemed like it turned off immediately. Then we're gonna stop the electricity here from our power surge outlet thing, and we're gonna be replacing the breakout board, and just to see how far, if there is any electricity savings here with just one power supply. And just to make a note, currently this ATX is connected to the server power supply via this wire that is a floppy. So when the ATX turns on, it tells the server power supply to turn on and start powering. As you can see, it's turned off right now. They're both turned off because the motherboard via this button told them to turn off. So we're not going to need that setup anymore because we're only going to be using one power supply. And here's the cable that came with the parallel miner ATX breakout board. We're hoping to get this through here, get it in the motherboard, and maybe keep the same position. We're going to need to replace these cables because right now the ATX power supply is powering all the risers, and we're going to need to transfer that to the actual breakout board that I got from Parallel Miner. So very easy. We're just gonna unplug this plug right here, and once we unplug that, just unplug all the GPUs, all the things that are using power there, and then we're gonna disconnect the breakout board and then connect this breakout board to the power supply. And I'm just saying this, if you're watching this video, you may never seen this, so I'll do my best to document it. But if you know what I'm doing, then you're probably just more curious about if the power consumption went down. All right, here we go. Here's the server power supply with the breakout board that was already connected, as you saw it in the video. All you do is you're gonna disconnect it. So it's like a cartridge for an old Super Nintendo. And you're gonna connect this new one here. And that's it. So now it's connected to the server power supply. And we're just gonna go back and reconnect all these. Connect this, making sure that we have power to the CPU. Now, the CPU gets powered by this cable that came with the parallel miner breakout board. It does have this 8-pin ATX connector that'll go to the CPU plug on your motherboard. This is what's going to be connected to your power supply here. So we'll just go here, and it seems like it supports also a 20 pin, I think, or at least I think it does. Maybe it doesn't. This piece right here looks like it can slide out, but I'm not gonna try it because I don't care about that right now. So we can just fit this in here, and that should be fine. And now I'm gonna connect everything and then just show you how I connected it without actually doing it on the video. So see you till the next clip. Here we have our ATX. I'm gonna call this octopus style power supply, because there's some ATX power supplies where you can just connect them kind of like a breakout board, the cables that you want to connect. But these have kind of like an octopus, or like a multi-tentacle style, where it's built into the power supply. So we're gonna get rid of this for now, and I will use that for a different project that you guys know I've been working on with the 800G, the 800G1 Hewlett Packard setup rig. Well, I need to test that one to make sure it can run at least one video card. All right, so I got the breakout board, then I got the the 24 pin connected to the motherboard, and then it's then connected to the CPU. You can follow this cable here. All right, so we have the breakout board connected. Supposedly the cables from Parallel Miner, these black and white ones, can handle up to 400 watts. So I bought 3-way splitters. So I have 3 PCIe risers connected to one cable. I know if they're doing 75 each, that's 225. They're still kind of in a close range to the 216, but if these supposedly can handle 400 watts, then I don't see why that would be a problem. And so I have 2 cables with these 3 splitters that are now powering the PCIe risers here. So now it's time for the moment of truth. We're going to power up our rig, and nothing happens. So maybe I should have read the instructions, but there's an off and on button here that I just pressed. And obviously there's no power because I have not turned it on here on my power surge. Okay. Now we have powers. Monitor turned on. And I'm going to turn on the computer. So I just hit the, I guess it turned off button. So it's not on. Now let's hit this power button. The risers are all on. We're hitting the power button on the motherboard, but it's not turning on. So I will need to stop this here and maybe read the manual like I should have done from the beginning. But maybe I need to connect the Molex one, or need to remove this pin for the off and on. I'm not sure yet. Alright, so looks like it's powering on. I needed to push this in a bit more, so I did that. My video cards are now turned on. My CPU fan is running. I need to connect my monitor back just to see what's going on. But look, it turned off. The CPUs are turned off. So I'm gonna see what's going on. There might be some restarting happening. But at the wall right now, currently we're at 101 before anything. So I'm gonna connect the monitor, see what's going on. I should have done that before this, but I think we're very close. Okay, so we got some, it says we have 5 GPUs. And then it's gonna start doing stuff, and So we got 5 GPUs starting. Alright, so we see here my second GPU is at 0 mega hash. And I wonder, what that is, what that's all about. So maybe something I haven't connected it well, or when I was moving stuff around, I got disconnected. So we're gonna take a look at all the cables, but yeah, GPU 2 is not responding. So it's gonna restart. Okay. Alright, so I ended up powering one of the GPUs to one cable. It seemed like the issue with the GPU kind of going down was because of my 3-way split cable. So I'm just gonna say the maximum amount of risers that you should put on a 3-way or 2, and then if you can, just use one for the one that you need. All the GPUs seem to be stable at this point. They got their GT values. So now let's check. We're gonna see what the wall says as far as power. Alright, so this is just with my server PSU. I took out the ATX. We have that. And at the wall we're at 849, which is a lot more. I'm gonna turn off my monitor because I know it takes about 100 and something watts. So with the monitor turned off, we go down to 747, it seems like 46. Okay, and I believe our original number was 753. So we do save some watts, maybe enough to say that was a huge difference. Now my server PSU is not connected to a 220 volt, I don't think, connection. It's just a house 110 volt. So maybe if you connect it to a 240 volt, it'll be more power efficient. I guess I could move this to the garage where I would have a 200 and something volt to test that out. But maybe if you care to see what that is, then drop a comment. Let me know that you're interested in that, and I'll give that a try. Alright, thanks for watching. Alright, so this is me switching to Team Red Miner since I only have AMD cards. Seems to make a pretty significant difference here at the wall. I'm hashing at 285.8, 286, which is what Phoenix Miner is doing, 286. So I might have just, had to switch the miner, and that probably would have been fine. But I'm also saving here. I have an extra ATX power supply now, and I have another server power supply from my other project. So I'm gonna complete the video here just to let you know that there is small power savings, and as long as you have cables for the breakout boards, you should be fine. Alright, so I put Team Red Miner again and kind of overclocked my GPUs to get the max that I could, and we're kind of back to square one at 753, 700 something to the wall. The only benefit right now is that I have only one power supply powering the whole entire system instead of needing two, and this power supply should be around 900 watts, even though it's a 1200 power supply, but since it's at 110 volts, it's going to do 900 watts. So 80% should be 720, so we're a little bit above that 80% mark that you want to be on a power supply. And yeah, Team Red Miner was crashing because of the overclocks I had, so I've been tuning those memory clocks until it stopped crashing and restarting. So I think we're at a good place, and then I could start playing with bringing down the, just making sure everything's stable at least for a day, and then kind of going back and optimizing the power settings on my overclocks. Alright, for real this time, this is the end of this video. But as you can see, we got more mess, more cable mess. So maybe this wasn't an issue having the 3 plugged in. It might have just been an issue more so of my overclocking, because when you move the cards or something, like the cards in Hive get changed. So it's not like GPU 0 is always GPU 0. I might have like plugged in these cards a little bit differently, so that's why maybe one of the GPUs was crashing because I had the wrong overclock on it.